Welcome to episode 2, Strong Arms, the art of war for helpers.
Imagine you walk towards the storm. In the darkness, the moon is but a blackened, haunting shape. It is dark. It is hidden. The clouds win the light reflected on the moon. It loses. It succumbs to the darkness. The darkness is deafening, but you know, amongst all of this, there is a slight warmth, that your back, the wind is blocked at your back by a subtle outline that watches. Until the most horrifying moment, when you feel the elements from all around you, and you realize that no longer is there anyone at your back, but suddenly you are all alone against what may come. This is more than spooky in the spooky season. In this moment, the silence is oppressive and the way out will be unclear. Don't find yourself in this moment. For we are at war. Episode 1, the art of war for helpers. We discussed that we are at war with sorrow. We must make plans that take into account the safety of each precious soul that we interact with in our work or our lives. We must protect the basic life that we serve. We must do that with safety planning and normalizing crisis prevention and crisis phone line calls for support in the long hours of the night and the darkness when we are not there. Episode 2, we're in today. And since I started this project, trying to have fun in spooky season to talk about the deepest, the darkest, and the most important corners of our lives, I think. More than spookiness came upon me. I faced the real challenges of our work and the real moments of depth and sadness and sorrow. In each one of you, we must conquer those moments ourselves if we are to do any good in the war against sorrow. And this is episode 2. For the art of war for helpers. What else do we fight? We don't just fight sorrow. We fight fear. We fight the fear of death and loss that hangs above the head of every human that tries to have a life that also includes joy. Every life faces the risk and the inevitability of fear, of death, and of loss. And we fear that death until the end. It's the one reality of life for most of us. The other thing we fear is shame. And the lengths that we will do to avoid fear of death and shame is so important. We can't forget for a moment, that as helpers, we fight the darkest of forces. Sorrow, fear, the lingering way that the reality of death can ruin the moments that lead up to it and can steal the meaning as we live in fear of the ultimate. We must vanquish this principle. We must lay plans. That is what we learn first from the art of war. And helpers need the strategic slicing effectiveness of the art of war in our battle against sorrow, fear, and the loss of meaning in life. So we must lay our plans, but we also must have our provisions in tow. And I say to you, the first thing we must think about today, and the provisions we must carry in the war against sorrow, fear, mental illness, and the loss of meaning in life, is we must have that warm outline at our back. We must have quality, ethical, intelligent, and well-resourced clinical supervision. A team would be better. Redundancies in your clinical supervision would be better. But you must have that warm shadow at your back. You must not go into the darkness of the fray, of the war against sorrow, without support. You have to know that your every decision is brought again to another mind, to other hands, to other hearts, to help you. You cannot be on your own in the darkness of the war against mental illness and sorrow, lest it overtake you. No one is an island. No one can do it alone. You matter. Your clients matter, and if you're a client, you matter so much. Understand the provisions that your provider brings. Understand the provisions that you bring as a provider. Know who has your back. And join us for episode 3, the provisions and the armament of war for helpers. Thank you so much. Don't give in to the sorrow. The sorrow came for me this week, and I stumbled, but we have to have each other's back. I care about you. I admire you for your work. You matter. Protect your longevity. Protect your licensure. Protect your clients. Have excellent and redundant clinical supervision, and speak up for the quality of your clinical supervision. You need a shield, and you need provisions in this war against mental illness, suffering, distress, and the loss of meaning. Because we will stumble, but we can be victorious, and you matter. Keep going, keep fighting. You got this.